Hello and good afternoon. It's Phil Thatch and I'm here today at the Chickamauga Dam, which you can probably see in the frame now. And this is a really great place to practice bird photography. There's two pair of osprey here, one that's nesting over there on that power pole and one that's nesting at the top of that power pole. Plus there's lots and lots of great blue heron and cormorant here. So I just kind of practiced for a while using my R6 and the 800 f11, and I found that I had some settings that weren't the best, and I've kind of improved. And you know what, honestly I still don't know if I've got the best settings, but I'll kind of show you some pictures and I'll show you the settings that I changed as I worked for about an hour or so, just absolutely sweating to death because it's really hot. It's very late July, which is about the hottest time of the year. Late July, early August is the hottest time of the year here in Chattanooga. But I'll show you some pictures that I made and some settings that I used and some settings that I was using that were not the best. Okay, I was shooting using case 2 for autofocus case with the tracking and acceleration deceleration tracking settings as you see here on the screen. And I had kind of learned this from another YouTuber, and while I was at Epcot a little while before this and doing some photography at the Rookery, I was very much struggling. So I got to actually reading what these cases were about, and case 4 seemed like it would have the best performance for my uses. So I tried case 4 and put both of the settings at the bottom all the way to the right, and I seemed to do a little bit better. Now this may not be the actual best way, but this is a way that seemed to work for me. I found myself, and actually I still find myself, getting a little bit behind while I'm trying to track a bird in the EVF, but I did switch the display performance to smooth and turn off power saving. I'm not sure if it helped. Okay, here are a few photographs that I made that day at the dam. Ever since I first started doing bird photography, one of my favorite shots is to get a really up-close headshot of a great blue heron, and I did it all the way back with my Nikon D7000 and a really inexpensive 300mm lens, and I'm still doing it today with my Canon R6. Let's see what the settings are on that. 1/2500th, ISO 2500, f11 using the 800 f11. Here is a double-crested cormorant in flight. This is also at 1/2500th of a second, 2000 ISO f11. Love those turquoise eyes. This double-crested cormorant, now this one was flying not directly at me, but in my general direction, and I think this sort of shot right here where the bird's flying at you is where case 4 helps the most. And like I say, I'm just kind of trying to get my head around how to operate these Canon cameras, so I could be completely mistaken, but photographs of this variety seem to work better for me using case 4. There were a couple of osprey that dove for the same fish, and neither one of them got it, and I made a couple of photographs of that little exchange there at the dam. So here are those shots. And this is, you can see the water drops coming off of it. This is an osprey that had made a dive for a fish and did not come up with it. Here's another osprey in flight, 1/3200th of a second. Plenty of light that day, so I could get really high shutter speeds even with an f11 lens. And this is a great blue heron. Look at the damage to its wing here. It flew by, and I made many photographs of it as it went by. And this is another great blue heron that was doing some fishing. It had just jumped into the water there. It was standing here on the rocks, and it saw a fish, and it jumped in, but it failed to capture it. And this is another great blue heron as it's flying into the rocks there by the Tennessee River, and it's putting on the brakes as it's coming in for a landing. I've had this camera for a few months now, but today was the first time I ever turned off the mechanical shutter and turned on the electronic shutter, which gives you 20 frames per second. And now we can look at an example of 20 frames per second. Here are some photographs that I made once I went into 20 frames per second with the electronic shutter. And I'm going to turn off the settings up here and put the timestamp that these photos were made. You can see this one was made at 1:42 in the afternoon and 39 seconds. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Now number 20 has switched to 40 seconds. So I had 19 on 39 seconds, and here is 1 on 40. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see I'm starting to lose the bird because I think the EVF is a little bit slow, just barely, not as bad as some of the other cameras I've had. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, and at number 21 it switches to 41 seconds. So there were 39 photographs there that took place in 2 seconds, and every single one of them was in focus. And then you'll see it continues to shoot in focus shots. Just unbelievable. I've never had a camera that could shoot 20 in focus shots of a bird in flight all within 1 second until this Canon R6. Pretty crazy. And there's the one that I edited and that I showed you before. All right, well, thanks for joining me from the Chickamauga Dam, and I hope some of the settings that I've learned work a little bit better will work for you, or maybe you have some settings that you think I should change, and if so, put those in the comments down below. I would love to learn some more about getting the most out of my Canon R6 camera. And these settings will probably work, I would imagine, on an R5 as well. So thanks for watching, have a great day, and as always, I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.